Welcome to episode 2 of AI Webster. Up, up, up. Come on. No. Come on. Up, up, up. Today we brought a special guest, Raina. And Raina is here because she has an official sponsor. Sit. Milkbone. The proof is down. She can prove to us that Milkbone is a wonderful treat. Raina is, when we're, from my understanding, when we're just talking to ourselves, it's a vlog. But when we have a special guest, it's a podcast. So thank you to everyone who tuned in for the first episode of AI Webster. We appreciate that, and especially the kind ex-students who wrote warm-hearted comments. I really appreciate that. So please like and subscribe and continue to do so. Have we mentioned our sponsor today is Milkbone? I think so. Anyway, Raina is going to give us a little bit of advice. Every morning I read the Globe and Mail to Raina, and she tells me what she thinks of the TDSB and what goes on in education, what happens to people who go to schools in the TDSB. We've been blessed. The gods of weather have given us a nice day, another nice warm day. And, oh, you have an opinion. Okay, so we're going to address Radiohead announcer. He had a question about my views on mark inflation and the softening of standards and the lowered expectations in the TDSB. And this is a topic he knows I'm opinionated on. So are you ready for this? Okay, I don't know if Rain is still on the camera, but she might relax. Okay, sit. Watch this. Watch the power of the Milkbone. Oh, I don't know where I put it. Here it is. Come on. Sit. Yeah, sit. There we go. Down. There, so calm. By the way, we're situated on the grounds outside of Castle Webster on November 5th, which is the election day in the United States. So we're very excited about that. Like Joe Biden, probably going to go to bed early and then find out what the results are tomorrow. But anyway, what's that? Oh, yes. You want to get back to the topic. And you believe that the TDSB is, a bunch of ideologues drunk on equity. Well, I have to agree, and I have some evidence for it. In the last few years, the TDSB has de-streamed grade 9 and 10. They've removed the enriched programs. They've tried to reduce the number of exams and the weight they have. They're continually mucking about with the audition process in art schools. Essentially what they're trying to do is lower the bar continually. And they've passively removed a lot of critical thinking skills and replaced them with sanctimony around decolonization and anti-oppression movements. We used to have SMART goals in the TDSB, and SMART goals were specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And of course, when you're talking about anti-oppression goals, it implies that we've been oppressing students in school, which is a false place to start, right? And then there is no end point to decolonization. So if we had some definable goals, it would probably be a much more worthwhile endeavor. Alas, we don't. But what I wanted to address very specifically was an article that came out in the Globe and Mail last February 11th on 2023 by Caroline Alfonso, their reporter. And she talked about administrators who were sent home on home assignments because they had done something that was deemed inequitable. They got themselves into a bit of hot water through a complaint. The complaint may have been legitimate or maybe not, but the Toronto District School Board, unlike other school boards, was sending many more principals home at a time, and vice principals. And the article centered mostly around the financial loss of each VP might get $120,000, $140,000 a year. They're not allowed to work in the school. and they can't return to their home school ever again. It was catastrophic. But her focus was mostly on how dire the economic needs were, that the TDSB was just throwing away insane amounts of cash on this. I wanted to just quickly examine the sort of social fallout of this, because what we have, I think mostly good people get into administration, but then you have to be a cheerleader for a lot of the ideology that's being pushed down their throats. And if you step out of line at all, you're in deep trouble. So what happens is you get a lot of administrators that are either fraudulent, compliant in this. They don't want to be the little boy in the emperor's new clothes who tells the emperor that he is naked, because they'll face dire consequences. They'll be sent home. If someone in the community complains about them in any way, they'll be sent home, and that will ruin their reputation. They can't come back. So when you have a lot of frightened managers, and the further you go up the line, the more frightened they are, they tend to take it out on their underlings. So they tend to lose their sense of humor. They tend to lower the expectations. And that's what happens. They get sort of extra points every time they weaken the education system, and that seems to be the goal. So in English, we were under a great deal of pressure to create book clubs instead of core texts. Now, that's a problem. It sounds nice that everyone can choose their own adventure, but when you can't have common quizzes, you really don't know if the kids are reading. And with the advent of never-ending smartphone use, kids will find ways to summarize books without reading them. So it's a big problem. So the irony of all this movement towards equity is that parents are figuring out that their children aren't getting the education that they need in order to face the rigors of university and of adulthood. So if they have the means, they're sending them to private school. So the great irony of this is that in this movement for equity and inclusion, it actually creates further societal inequities. So the 1% or the top 10% are going to get a richer education in a private school. So it sort of means the growing downfall and the degradation of public education. I wasn't trying to freestyle there. Anyway, if I missed anything in that, would you please tell me, and we'll look at it again. Anyway, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box. Otherwise, thank you.